Okay guys, quick one. We're going to make some extended vent tubes for our blow through Holley carby. So what we're going to do first is remove our existing vent tubes, and then we're going to grab some steel fuel hose or steel fuel line, and we're going to make some extensions. So we'll get these pulled out now, and then I'll show you how to do these. Okay, so first things first, you want to measure your existing fuel vent tubes. So vernier calipers, zero them out, stick them on your tube there, and what have we got? Dog's going crazy. 7.4. Hang on a second. The hell? Crazy dog. Okay, so here's our carby. Now, first thing we want to do, vernier calipers, set them to 0. Now, we're going to measure our original vent tubes. What have we got there? Looks like about 7.8 or thereabouts. Something like that. And then make sure that our steel fuel pipe is the right size. 7.8. Thereabouts. Okay, so next thing, pull these vents out. Vice grips and a screwdriver is what we need. Clamp them on, pull them out. Okay, so the trick here is screwdriver down your vent tube and then clamp onto there and wriggle them out. Don't take your eye out. You can see it's there. Okay, so when you clamp your screwdriver with your vice grips, it gives you something to bite into. So that's the trick right there. That's one. Let's get out the other one. Don't throw away your old ones, you might need them. So this one's a little bit out of shape, so just give it a wriggle. To go in there, just like that. Once again, vice grips on here. Locking pliers. And look at that, easy, out. Now, gonna make our new ones. So, let's get that happening. Get your steel fuel pipe, straighten yourself out a couple of lengths. I'm going to make them quite long. We can always cut them down, like we always say, but if you cut them too short originally, you can't add it back on. So I'm going to make them like this sort of length. No real measurement there, just looking at it going, that's how much I want, so I'll make 2 of them and I'll chuck them in. Actually, one needs to be shorter because I want these to be the same length as each other. So one will be slightly shorter than the other, but yeah, you get the idea. So get your pipe, invest in a pipe cutter and a flaring tool because you're going to use it all the time if you're customizing cars. Here we go. That's one. Use that as a template for the second one. Okay. you're ever messing with this stuff, straighten it out before you cut it, because at least then you've got some leverage on it. The minute you've cut it, you're not going to be able to turn the ends very easily. So just a little hint. Alright, so 1, 2, cut it there. And we can always make it shorter, but this stuff we can't make longer. We want these to go in the same depth as the old ones, so we're going to put a mark on it, make sure they're in the right spot. So you can see here, there's a witness mark there where it's still clean. So that's the length that we're going to be installing them at. So somewhere around there. That way we at least know that it's almost all the way in. So just make that mark perfect before I go any further. All right, let's get it in there. Now if you're lucky, this should just push in. Okay, that went pretty well. Just going to give it a little tiny tap. Tiny tap, just to make sure. Alright, that is in, as far as it's going to go. Now, we are just going to be very gentle here, so that we don't break anything. And just start the bend, and then we're going to get the tool onto it. Okay, let's go get the bender. Alright, so this isn't going to be very scientific. We're just going to be eyeballing it to get it where we want. So we're going to make a quick measurement on the carby hat to make sure it fits. And then we're going to come back here and bend this. Alright. So around about 60 mil is what we want from the base. So we're going to try and keep it as tight as we can to there. Now, just eyeballing it. Let's go. And we're at 90 degrees, which is where we want to be. Okay, get that off of there. Now, make sure that's all the way in. Now guys, the next one obviously has to be shorter here. So we're going to measure this height, and then we're going to measure this height, find out what we need. That was way too long. Can always cut it off. Can't always put it back on again. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Okay, that's one. Two. Now going to cut that one down as well. Now is that how we want it? We do that length there. No. It's a bit too... Alright, go back a bit more. Okay, now we're going to have to get the carby hat, make sure it fits over here, and trim these down to whatever length we need. Very accurate measurement here. Had a look at it, thought that's about it, so that's where we're going to cut it. Probably could have made a whole another set out of what I'm going to cut off, so I'll leave these in the scrap pile, and we probably will end up using them later on another build. There we go. Now, this top one, we need to give it a kick around the mounting bolt for the carb hat. So, we need it to go back around that way. Just like that. You can see what I've done there. So we want to be able to get around your mounting, and now we're going to pull this one back the other way and keep it in line with this one. And then it'll be perfect. Okay, let's try something here. Okay. Pretty good to me. Cut this one off and we're done. Okay, so there's your extended vent tubes for your blow-through 600 Holley carburetor for the turbocharged Holden 253. So we're just going to put the carb hat on now, make sure these clear. But that's it, guys, simple as that. They won't come out of there. If they do, they've got nowhere to go, and that'll help our tuning big time. So all that's needed now is to put the hat on. Grab the hat, make sure you don't hit anything on the way through. Very gently, and that's on. So I'll give you a look up the throat of it. Yep. I hope you guys can see up in there. We've got the two tubes, and that's it. So guys, I recommend that mod. If you're going to do something like this at home, definitely do that mod. It'll help you with your tuning. Cheers.